Hey guys, so again I'm coming at you with another glitch video, but this is for sinking your really oversized furniture. It's going on what we did yesterday with the new method that Shwiper provided. And I know in the video yesterday I said that you can't sink the items because they're too big, but then Shwiper contacted me and said actually they have a method for it. And they went through it with me today and helped me with it. I mean, they've been amazing. Huge help to the community for making these things in our spaces. So I'm going to put a link in my description and in a comment for my video that I already did on syncing items, because this really expounds on that and just gives you a more advanced version of that. So it'd be good to watch that, get the basics and understanding of it, and then move on to this. And I'll also put links to the video from yesterday as well as the wall placement, making the wall objects bigger as well, which I also posted yesterday, because those are going to be helpful for the different things I hit in this video. And then after I show you how to sync it, at the end I'm also going to be showing you how to resize the objects using the method yesterday, so you can choose a more specific size instead of super big or super small. So let's get started. So you want to start with the murky wardrobe, and everybody gets that from achievements, I believe, and I made it just a little bit smaller because I'm going to be stacking these really high. And then the next thing you want is the wall shelf, the mounted wall shelf that everybody can get as well, because that will actually go onto the murky wardrobe and make it a little smaller, and now it will go. And a little difference I noticed from my last syncing thing is instead of, having to put the bench on top very difficultly, I can just use books, I can place something else on top. So I just put the books, and now I'm going to use the simple table. I'm going to make it really big, and the reason I'm choosing the table is because I just want a lot of surface space for syncing my object, just so I can find it easier when it's super low. And just like in my other syncing video, you're going to be doing the selection process. There's that button up at the top right, and you're going to be selecting that table. You know it worked when the table's following you like that, and then push X, not the check mark, to drop the table down. And now you'll be placing another murky wardrobe, and don't worry, you don't have to buy these because you're going to put them away at the end. So I placed this one down right next to it, and then I'm going to grab the one I initially used, and I'm putting it up about halfway, you can see. Then I push the check, and now I'm going to select the table again with the selection button. That's at the top right. Okay, obviously I didn't do that, so I'm redoing it. I'm putting it a little bit higher. If you put it too high, you won't be able to select the table, so that's why I choose about halfway. Now again, I use the select furniture, and I'm putting it just in the middle. I keep just putting it in the middle because that's eventually where I'm just going to have it, so it's just kind of easier for me to just be putting it in the same spot. And you're just going to be doing this. You're just going to be stacking, putting them up halfway. The table obstructed my view, so I had to move around. But put it up about halfway, then you're doing that select furniture at the top again, selecting the table, pushing the X, not the check, because the check will reset it and you'll have to start all over again, so make sure you push the X. So yeah, I'm just doing this over and over again, and this is going to determine how low your table goes at the very end. So if you don't need it super low, then use a little bit less on your cabinets. If you need it a lot lower, then you need more cabinets. It depends on the size of your object and where you're wanting it. So it is a process. And so I know that I need it really low because I'm making it really big. So I think I just add one more at this point. And then I move it over. Actually, I do add another on top of this because I knew that it was too low. And you could even see at the starting that I didn't get it low enough. Why did I say too low? I meant not low enough. So now I'm putting this right in the middle because that's where I want my last one to be, just because it makes it easier for the overall process. I'm going to select my table again, and then put my table in the middle because it's going to be right in front of that shelf. You want it directly in front of that shelf just so you know where it is, because the shelf is on those cabinets. Now you're going to be grabbing the shelf and just moving it onto the wall as low as you can. And you can see that the table's gone from your view, but it's still there. Now you can just get rid of the murky cabinets. You might have to get rid of them in your cart as well. And now I move this to the middle because I know the table is going to be somewhere in the middle, and you can see that it's there if you go to the little settings button on the top right. I clicked the wrong one. Click the settings and then batch furniture, and you can go down and see that the table is still there. And now at this point I'm going to do the method that I did yesterday, and again the link will be in the description for this method, to enlarge my aquarium, and I'm going to do it 2 times to get it big. I don't know if maybe 3 times or doing the readjusting the size would work better, and that's something I can play with, but I wanted to get this video for you guys to see. So I'm not giving instructions on how to do this because I already did that at length in the other video, but you can see I'm making the aquarium bigger. And also make sure your floor space is clear because you have to set it down, because at this point, once it gets big, you need to take it and you need to be able to set it down to save it. And then you're going to be selecting it like you did in the other process for the other stuff. Select it, and then you're going to be moving around until it sinks. So you can see that it's sunk right there, but I can't place it. So don't press X or check because it will just reset everything. You're moving it around until you find the right spot, and it took me a little while. I didn't think it was going to work, but then eventually it did. I think it took me a couple minutes to actually find the correct spot to place it. And then you can see right here, it's sunk in, and I could push the check mark, and now I can place it, and it worked. And this process will take a little while, and you'll have to tweak it a bit, but it gives you the ability to sink these really large items. And now let's get into resizing, because yesterday I said that you couldn't, but you actually can. And I love it now because it's way more customizable, and it's actually dependent on the size of that object on the left that you don't place anything on. So last time I said to make it as small as possible, but you can actually adjust the size on that, and that will help the size not be such a drastic difference. Because if you make it as small as possible, when your item gets bigger, it's going to get really large. So if you don't want it to get as large as that, or just a tiny bit larger, then you're going to make that object on your left that you're clicking on, which for me is that shelf, bigger. You adjust the size on it. And so you can see right now I'm working on adjusting the size of the shelf because I wanted this bigger. I wanted a bigger room for it. So I'm just working on the sizing. And I'm just upping the size a little bit at a time. I'm not doing such a drastic change by making the shelf as small as possible. I'm making it in the middle. So I have this, but it's not quite as big as I wanted. So now I'm making that shelf size almost to the top because I just want it a little bit bigger. And then I mess around, and then I'm eventually able to get the size that I want. And then I'm going to be placing it. And you can see that it's a lot bigger than the one yesterday. And this just makes it so much more customizable. I love all of these glitches that Shwiper has shared with us, and I'm super grateful to them and all the help that they've given me and the community in these past couple days by sharing these techniques. I hope these techniques help you out, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching.